Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm making this video for a couple friends who are requesting, um, just how I run MainStage mainly for worship, and uh, I would like to make this video for you guys. Um, Shout out to the friends. One of the things that I do want to let you guys know is that what I use for worship on Sunday is my MIDI controller. It's not a synthesizer. This is actually by itself. There's no sound coming out of this keyboard, and this is just a trigger. Actually, what it does is that you hook this up to your laptop or Mac, and then play this. Use this to control the sound in the computer. So you would need to have Logic Pro X installed into your computer, so that you can play the sounds from Logic while using MainStage. I do have Logic 8, the Legacy, and Logic Pro X. So for this example, then I will use those sounds. So when you go to MainStage and you go to File, New, make sure you're on the Keyboards tab, and you will select the Keyboard Minimalist, which is a default layout and the most basic one. And I'd like to start my session with that. All right, as it is loading, I do want to point out that MainStage, the version I have is MainStage 3.0. Okay, and the default will be a classic electric piano, and I'm getting a signal, but nothing's coming through because I need to select the output. So as you can see on the right side here is the mixer, and a default it sends channel 1 here would be the electric piano instrument, which is the input here, and then it has two sources here where it's sending to bus 2 and bus 1. This would be bus 2 if you read it there on the input. Looks like this is a FX bus where it have reverb in there, a little bit of chorus there too. And then this is bus 1, which is another reverb. What I like to do is I just kind of sometimes free up some of my memory, so I'll get rid of the effects that I don't need here. So once again, there are signals coming through, but the outputs are not selected, so I need to fix that. I'm running through my PreSonus interface sound card, so I will select the output for that, which is 3334. I might as well just change them all, so I'll go change all output to 3334. All right, so actually the first instrument then I would need is a piano. So what I do is I'll select this channel, and you can go in here into the instrument itself, double click it, and it'll pop out the user interface. And from here you can actually select different types of electric piano. But what I like to do is I want to put a piano first. So once the channel is selected, we go on to channel strip down here in our inspector here, and we can just go into the piano folder, and I like the Steinway grand piano. And as you can see on the side here, then it uploaded some of the presets, which is the graphic equalizer and compressor and a tape delay. And again, these send levels, I just kind of like kept it like that. You can bring them up by clicking on it, and then you can hear the room change. there's not really anything you really need to mess around with the reverb, unless you do want to create the room a little bit bigger, more decay and all that, but more dryness in there. But I think everything sounds pretty good already. I kind of let the front of the house engineer add the reverb, so I don't really need to do any more editing for that. All right, the next layer that I'm going to add is some pads. So I'll go into this plus sign here on the upper right here, and I'll just click on that plus sign to add another channel strip. And I want to make sure it's under instrument, and MIDI input is my X49, and output is 33, 34. All right, and you loaded the green instrument here. Green channel actually, so nothing is loaded in instrument yet. So I'll go in here in my channel strip again because this channel has been selected. And pads, I like to go into my legacy folder, which it would be Logic 8, and then go into synthesizers and synth pads, and I like the blur pad. All right, and so what I want to do over here is mute the piano so that I can hear just the pads layer. Okay, we'll go ahead and open up the user interface here. So to be honest, I don't know a lot about all these, fit cutoff and all that, but I do know that there's 2 envelopes in this sound, this synth, and you can control the speed of the notes. So say I was to push a key. All right, realistically, I kind of like the length of how long you push it, the starting point, to be longer so that it fades in naturally. Yeah, as you can see, it fades in really natural. And then the sustain at the end, I kind of wanted to go a little bit shorter, just so that it fades out shorter, because that's a little bit too long. So let me just turn this camera here so you can see how I'm pushing the keys. There's a lot of low end coming through this thing, so what I do is I'll go into my graphic equalizer here, and what we would like to analyze is our low end frequency. So we'll click analyzer here, and so yeah, there's a lot of low end frequency here, so this could be an issue with the bass player. So what I would do is I'll add a high pass filter, or low cut filter is what they call it, and so that we can cut those low end, and then I'll bring the hertz up to right around 200. Let's see how it sounds like now. So if we add that layer with a piano layer, and then we'll probably just bring it down a little bit. It'll sound something like this. Okay. Um, Later on, I will add a knob that controls this high pass filter, and I'll show you guys that in a bit. But I do like to add one more layer, which is in the electric piano. And let me go ahead and go back to this plus sign, add another instrument channel strip. And here's my third layer here. Okay, and we are going to select some electric piano. So we'll go into our vintage electric piano, experimental folder, and I like this SoCal ballad piano. Let's just go ahead and solo that. But of course, it's worship, so it sounds very mystical and has kind of like a bell delay effect after touch. And what I like to do is add a little MIDI effects here. Just transpose it. I'll transpose it an octave. That's 12 keys up. And what this does is when you layer it with the others, it'll sound like this. So yeah, that's a little bit loud, but we can like always kind of adjust these. So what I want to do now is actually assign my faders to the faders there in the mixer. So the next thing I do is I'll go into my layout. All right, and first thing I do is get rid of some of these stuff that I don't need. So I don't need that, so I'll just select it and push my delete button on my keyboard. Okay, select that, push that. I don't need this, I don't need that. All right, I like the whole patch list. Usually lists patches by the name of the song that we're performing. So if there's 3 songs, then there's usually 3 patches on there for that particular Sunday. Set, then I don't need this, I don't need that, I don't need that either, and this, I can take that off and take that off. So we'll leave these buttons here. So the first thing I like to add is a vertical fader. So I'll need 3 of these. So you just double click it. Okay, and we'll resize this, and we need 3 of these. So we'll put it, it doesn't have to look good, so just put it right there. Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and then paste again, so we get 3 of them. All right. Now I want to put buttons on the bottom of it. The buttons usually act as a enabler. Like I want to enable I want to enable on and off the instrument One of the reasons why I want to do that is because I don't just want the instrument to go on mute if I don't want to use it, because again, the pads, they slowly decay and sustain on a fade out. So you want it to make it natural, and you don't want to just have it on mute. That would be kind of weird if you're performing, all of a sudden the pads just stops. Okay, so there's a reason why I want an enabler. So I want to put a button in there. Okay, I double click on the button, resize it. Oops. Here, resize it. And we don't need the words there, so we could actually just do this. All right, so we will. So pads is actually number 2, so we'll just leave it right there for pads. Okay. All right, and the next thing I like to add is the directional knob for the high pass filter or the low cut filter. Okay, so we can put this one right here. All right, so now what we gotta do is assign these faders to our keyboard. So it's really easy. You just click on a fader, go to the inspector here, and click assign, arm it, and when it's red, it's blinking, then the software is ready to receive the MIDI signal from the keyboard. So whatever control you're touching first, then it's going to be assigned to that channel strip that you selected. Okay, so if you take a look, when I touch that, it moved. So you just move on to the next one. Select this one, and then I'm going to use my second fader here on the keyboard, just like that. I'm going to go down to the button here. All right, and I'm just going to push the button underneath this. Okay, so it looks like it went through. Okay, you see it went on and off like that. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to the third fader here. It's this fader here. And just move it. Now for this directional knob, I can use one of my rotaries here, the first one. Okay, and for my patch buttons up and down here, going up, I'm actually going to use the last 2 buttons here. All right, so first button here would be this one right here. Okay, and then this one would be the right one. So that would go up and down my patch list. Okay, when I'm done, then I just click on assign again to disarm the edit mode. And one thing we want to make sure is that the type values are selected to absolute. Okay, the reason why we want to do that is that we don't just want it to go in one single data. So like if we don't select absolute, then if we go up, it will automatically go all the way to the max to 127. We go down, it'll go all the way down to 0. So we don't want to do that. So just an example, if we're done and we're going to add a mode in, you see fader 2 here. See, as I'm going up and down, it just goes to 27 or 0, and that's kind of messed up. But these ones over here are, they're absolute values. So let's go back and fix that one here. This one should be, see where it's selected single value, we gotta put it to absolute. And it looks like this one is fixed, so looks good. Okay, so now that we got these cool faders there, all right, it looks like it's working. Looks like the knobs are working here. Now that we got these faders and the button here and these patch buttons, we want to link them up with our mixer board on the right side here. So very simple. Again, just click, on it. Again, we want to make sure we are in edit now. Okay, so we're in click on that fader and go down here and make sure we're on mapped tab, and then we will map the parameter. All right, and once it's arm, then it's ready for you to touch any parameter. So the fader selected is ready for you to touch the parameter you want the fader to control. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this and drag it, and now they're paired. Okay, now I just move on to the next one. Okay, move this, click on this, and now they're paired too. Okay, now I click on this, and again they're paired here. Okay, I'm gonna click on this button here, and this would turn it off. This is the instrument. There's like a power button right here. So turning off will show that it is yellow. It should have been opposite around, but I don't know why they didn't do it that way. But anyway, so that turns off the pads. Okay. And then again, I want to add the high pass filter. So I'll just make sure I'm on-arming this first. Let me open this window. Okay. So the high pass or the low cut filter is controlled by the hertz on this band. So now we're ready. We're going to go ahead and map the parameter. We make sure we select this rotary directional knob, and then we'll just go to that frequencies hertz and click it and drag it, and as you can see, they're paired again now. Okay. All right, so we can just go ahead and unarm it and close this window because we don't need to see anymore. We can kind of see the EQ curve down here when we're doing this, so it kind of gives us an idea. But as you can see here, the hertz are already indicated here, so that's very good reference to go by. So if we were to just bring down the faders here and listen to the pads. Sorry about that. Forgot to just turn on the blur pads. I see that then the button was pushed and forgot to turn it on. So here we go again. So we'll listen to the pads. All right, and we can just bring some low in. We can kind of start the song like this. And then cut it a little bit. Bring up the piano. You bring the electric piano up. Bring it down. So just like that. So yeah, I'm letting go, and then as the pads are still playing, I let go the sustain paddle. The pads are still playing. So like they slowly fade out naturally. So one thing I can also do is so if I want to turn off pads, I'll just push here. Okay. Oh, the pads are off. See, and then it naturally fades out. Okay. Okay, so by doing that, it sounds so much better than. Okay, so if I turn it on again, right? It sounds so much better than, and then rather than turning it off, you mute it. That doesn't sound good. All right, so see that kind of cuts the whole song, the naturalness. So instead of fading it out like this while you're still playing, you need the other hand. So that's why I like to just and then turn it off. That kind of gives you an idea. So as you're preparing this, then again, you will, the patch list here, you will kind of name it something like, I don't know, King of My Heart, right? All right, so that's King of My Heart, and say it was on if it was on a D. And I like to play on a D, okay, because as you can see, the Axiom is only 49 keys. So this is why I like to play on a D. So, and then I will just transpose it, which is against the rules of all keyboards, right? You can't transpose it. You got to learn it. But for me, then it doesn't really matter because I'm limited by the number of keys. So I would just transpose it and always play it on my D. So with that being said, then what you do is, again, you can add MIDI effects to it, the transposer here, so that it could be transposed to the song. And then when you open up, when it's the patch list, you just open up this song here, then everything is loaded. And what you can also do is that you can load presets to this. So I'll say like King of My Heart. We don't have any electric piano, so we'll go into the fader here, and we'll go into we'll go into fader here, sorry. Oh, here. No, we'll go to the fader here, I'm sorry. And the volume. All right, so here's the save values. So what we can do is we'll just make sure that when we load this song, then electric piano is all the way down. All right, and then maybe pads, we also put it all the way down, and maybe the only thing we have is piano, and we'll leave it at 0 decibels, just like that. That's close enough. Okay. So what I like to do is I'll just select King of My Heart patch here and do a copy. So we'll copy it and then we'll paste it. And this next patch list here, say it's a different song. Maybe it is Inside Out. Okay. And it's on a D, right? But the singer wanted to go like, can you go lower, like 4? Which they always say. Then yeah, we'll go lower by 4, like that. We'll add a transposer on this side. We'll go by 4, like that. And then this one, then of course we have to -4. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4. All right, then. So inside out. So it's transpose. Maybe we want to have more of the. Oh, we'll go here. We want the save value to start with pads, right? So we'll do that, and then our piano maybe go down here. We'll just start with pads first. So now our presets are set to that. Okay. So if you take a look at this now, if I move up and down, remember my buttons here are to go up and down with the patch list. So if I go up, right, all the settings, I play on a D. It's good. It's King of My Heart. Right, and then move on to my next song, right, next patch. Right. Oops. Pads. Where's the pads? Oh, yeah, I have to turn it on because it's turned off. So I have to, mess around the settings for that, actually. Forgot to turn it on this way. Start with that and then touch my fader. Right. Just like that. Okay. So, you can just save the pads to the level that you want. One other thing here that you can do also is that make it natural. You can scale the parameter for the fader speed. So you can go here, and as you can see here is just pretty straightforward, like a 45-degree angle here. I like to use an arch like this so that it kind of slows down every time you go down, right? Right, naturally, like that. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll go back to King My Heart. Oh, that's inside out. Sorry, King My Heart. See, everything's transposed. So this is how I kind of like set up everything if I was going to do worship. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know I went kind of fast. I'd like to know a little bit about how you can set up your sound card, or, where you want to have a separate in-ear channel to this too, or you have other loops. There's so many cool things you can do with just MainStage alone. Once everything else is pretty much set here, you can go into perform mode here, and everything, you'll just see just this part right here. Okay. I don't really like this. I kind of like this because I need to see all these small parameters here too, and I kind of also want to see my effects bus here too, where I can send some other signals there too. And yeah, you can add a lot of everything that you want onto to your interface here. So you can even put lyrics on here you want, or chords. You can jump from patch list and then have chords for that song and be creative, I guess. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right. Take care, guys.